Welcome back, Lord of the Rings fans. This is the LOTR Gamer YouTube channel, and just a quick follow-up video to the showcasing of my framed booster packs for the Lord of the Rings trading card game that I showcased in my last video, which is hanging up to my left here, your right, on the wall, hanging nicely next to Aragorn's knife. Nice and straight, hopefully. I thought I would do a quick video on the various sets of the Lord of the Rings TCG game, since I kind of very quickly glossed over them in that reveal video. Despite having all 16 booster packs sealed in the frame, I was fortunate enough to be able to source another 16 packs. Well, some I had a lot laying around because some are easier to get than others. It's more so the last 3 booster packs that are quite difficult to come upon due to their very limited release when they came out in 2006 to 2007 timeframe. So those who are trying to get a hold of those booster packs, and I'll go through them, of course. Those are the ones that are very difficult to find, definitely on the more expensive side. That's primarily due to the fact that they weren't distributed as much. Decipher, as I mentioned in previous videos, there was a lot of financial woes and drama going on back then in the game, so the game was really going on a downward spiral at that point. I know back then I kind of kicked myself not picking up more of those packs when I was playing back then, but I think in my defense, I think even where I was, there's a good chance my local game stores likely didn't even had them. I didn't live in a big enough city to actually have those. I'm assuming this is going back almost 20 years now, so just going on assumption. But anyways, so I thought what I could do is just kind of go through each of the sets and just kind of do like a little walkthrough of set by set. And because I have kind of like a second set of each booster, I might be looking to do some kind of, maybe Christmas Advent video series, or I'm not sure if I'll have time to do it for this year, but if there's enough interest for next year, maybe there'll be some kind of like Advent calendar booster pack a day kind of video series for next year or something. But I'll have to brainstorm some video ideas, and if you have any ideas for what I should do with my second set of booster packs, be sure to leave a comment on this video. I definitely am interested to hear from you guys. But before we rip into this video, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell because there will be lots of future Lord of the Rings related content. And probably the last plug for this box is the Tales of Middle-earth collector booster special edition, which I still plan on ripping into, although I just found out that the value of this has like skyrocketed. It's like 2 or 3 times the value of when I purchased it earlier this spring. So who knows if there's a buyer out there, but I'm kind of a glutton for opening booster packs, so I probably won't sell it, but stay tuned for this video, which will be coming at some point. But yeah, let's roll into it. So the first, the Fellowship block, as you all know, we've opened many of these packs on this channel. We have the set number 1 is the Fellowship of the Ring set. So this came out in November 2001. It was kind of like the staple set that many fans of the game just love this set. It's definitely hold its value quite a bit. It established the baseline for the game. It's a lot of great cards in this set. So we got one of these guys. Next up, set 2 was Mines of Middle Earth. Oh, sorry, Mines of Moria. Excuse me. So that was kind of like the expansion to the Fellowship of the Ring. And then a second expansion was Realms of the Elf Lords. So they kind of came out, after Fellowship. It was in November. Like 4 months later, Mines of Moria. Excuse me. And then about 3 months after that was Realms of the Elf Lord. And then around the same time, I can't recall if this came out. Well, this probably would have came out after Realms of the Elf Lords. I never really played much draft when the game came out, but it does include cards from all 3 sets. So just based on that assumption, likely came out in the summer of 2002. So we have a draft pack, and you'll note that in the frame showcase, I did neglect to put the draft packs in them. I just didn't feel it was necessary. It's not part of the key sets, so I didn't put that in the frame. So that's the Fellowship block there. Next, we have the 2 towers. We have set 4, the 2 towers. This was the next block. So this set 4 was another wave of 365 cards. And set 4, set 5 being its expansion set, which again came out, 4 or 5 months later. They kind of had the same release schedule, and then about 4 or 5 months after that, in 2003, was Ents of Fangorn. And then the 2 towers did have their draft pack as well. And like with the Fellowship draft pack, did not include this in my frame. So in terms of value, the 2 towers block doesn't really hold its value as much as the Fellowship block. So if you're new to the game and looking to buy some booster packs, the 2 towers block, and including the draft pack, definitely on the more economical side if you're looking to kind of dive into the game and buying some booster packs to rip into. Some room here. Next, we're going to move into the Return of the King block. So if I can count, we have set 7. Return of the King. So this was the next block with another 365 cards coming out here. So nice pack there with its. So just for time reference, November 2003. So a good thing to note was that the game came out about a month and a half before the movies came out. So it was always fun when the card game released, was released, a month and a half before the movie, because we'd be able to play for, that month and a half with cards that had pictures of screen stills of the movie before the movie even came out. So, that was kind of cool. So yeah, so Return of the King booster pack with its expansion coming out about 5 months later. Siege of Gondor. And then 2 months after that, kind of not really in lieu of, but sort of in lieu of a draft pack for this, for the King block, was the Reflections booster pack. So really cool release with this because it introduced the Rare Plus cards. So if I get around to it, we'll eventually rip into this pack, and or I can do another video going through, because I do have an open set of all the reflection cards. So a lot of cool Rare Plus cards like Gil-galad, Elendil, Isildur, Sauron. If you check out the Wiki page, you can see what those cards' effects are and what their artwork's like. Really cool set when this came out. Could also get, it came with a bunch of other, actually I can just do this. Yeah, it comes with some 2 premium cards and then just a 16 mix of rares, uncommons, commons from the previous sets. And then it usually did include like one German card or one foreign card of a different language. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then lastly in set, so that was set 9, and then set 10 being Mount Doom to close off the Return of the King block. So that is our movie block there. After that, I won't go too much into kind of like, I did have a card with the answer to all the riddles, the oversized card that had kind of like the original release of what Decipher kind of was like planning. There was a couple releases or sets that they were supposed to do, but at some point in time, see, like at this point in the release factor, we're looking at like Mount Doom came out, what was it, summer of 2004, and I'm not too sure in terms of the Decipher drama when that happened. It was probably around, if I were to take a guess, it was probably around this time. I think if you look it up, you can probably get the exact date. But issues were starting to fester. But anyways, we'll roll into what we're actually here to talk about. So next we have the War of the Ring block. So first up we have set 11, that's the Shadows. So the interesting part of this set here is they introduced new shadow cultures. So like there was the men culture, a separate orc culture, an Uruk-hai culture. There were some new keywords like lurker, muster, toil. So the gameplay really changed at this point. So I know in terms of gameplay, I think in terms of like players, I know in terms of like my friend circle, like we kind of stuck to more the movie blocks. More so, we didn't really delve too deep into this, more just for collection items. But at this point, this was kind of like the last of what was really available at our local game stores. So we had set 11, Shadows, set 12, the Black Rider. And these ones are relatively on the cheaper side to find. Bloodlines, definitely on the more expensive side. Set 13. Yeah, they got 194. I think they're all roughly the same, if I remember correctly. Black Riders is 180. They're kind of more like expansion. I don't think there's any of them were very... Oh. Shadows was a bit on the larger side, 260. And then after that came the expanded Middle Earth. So these actually, they came in like a box, which I do believe to get them sealed is a little harder to come by. But to get the actual set of the cards, so this is the full 15. Here, I'll go through them here. There's Dane, there's Elladan, Elohir, Gildor, Brand, Grimbjorn, Dolin, Dolhir, Helbrad, Furious Hillman, Swarming Hillman, Half Troll of Far Harad, Horror of Harad, Uruk-hai Healer, Uruk-hai Scout. So these are the 15 cards that came in the expanded Middle Earth blocks. And I do believe if you just bought the box, I think all 15 just came with it. But again, at this point, I don't believe, because at this point in time, this was a good almost 8 months between Bloodlines and this set. So things were kind of spreading out in terms of releases. So I don't believe, at this point I kind of stopped buying cards, just playing with the cards that I had in the local game stores. Didn't really stock much of this. Yeah, but still pretty cool cards. A lot of them are Weta artwork cards, as you can tell by the Weta bug. So yeah, basically there's a lot of major delays and a lot of quality control issues from this point on. But yeah, still pretty cool. Next, set 15. So now we're getting into the kind of like the more expensive booster packs. So that's why I have them in these protective cases. So we have set 15 is the Hunters. And this one was a 194 card set. This one came out in November 2006. And the big thing to pull with this set, and even including the Bloodline set, which I forgot to mention, was the Legends Masterworks card. So those are kind of like the big chase cards in these ones. So this is set 15. And then set 16, which came out, again, a huge delay from the Hunter's block to set 16, which was actually just the Wraith Collection. It's a 6 foil set. Again, hard to come by sealed, but if I remember correctly, they actually only come in kind of like just a plastic, like a plastic packaging, nothing special from what I've heard at least. And it's kind of just a cool 6-card foil barrel white set. Some being the Weta graphics, and then some being kind of like reprints. Well, not reprints in terms of like the game text, but kind of like reprint images from the Two Towers block. And we have some cool graphics. So yeah, that is set 16 from the Wraith Collection. And the next after that, another hard to come by booster pack is Rise of Sauron. Sorry, Rise of Saruman. This came out about 7 or 8 months after the Wraith Collection. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, about 148 cards. And the Rise of Saruman expansive set. Again, it's got 9 Legends Masterwork cards. And it actually features a Rohirrim version of Aragorn, which is pretty cool. And a fun fact about this set is that due to kind of like its rush to release, it's, I guess it has there's a lot of errors and typos within this set. I know if you like look at some of like the imagery, some of them like you can tell it was rushed to release as you go later in these sets. Like it's a little more like blurred imagery. And then the last booster pack, Treachery and Deceit. It came out, surprisingly there was less of a time gap, but that's partly because of Decipher's licensing expiration for using Lord of the Rings IP. So it was only 2 months later, in May of 2007, when this set came out. So it's a 140 card expansion set with 9 Legend Masterworks. Again, it was a big rush to print this in time. And due to the big rush, there was a slew of erratas almost immediately, just because of the brokenness of some of the cards. There was little to no play testing. But yeah, these 3 get special cases because these 3 are definitely the hardest ones to come by and quite expensive. So that was set 18, Treachery and Deceit. And last but not least, definitely a shout out, set 19 is Age's End. This was the final farewell set to the game. It's a 40 card limited collection, contains characters from the captivating realm of the Lord of the Rings trading card game. It's kind of just a last hurrah. It actually only came out a month after Treachery and Deceit. I'm guessing the licensing must have expired like soon after. But yeah, this is an extra box, so I'll definitely open this one up at some point. These are, I think they've gone up in value a little bit, but I think for the most part, everyone who has a box or wants a box, for the most part, already has one. So I'll definitely have to open this at some point, because it'd be nice to actually see the cards that are inside it. But yeah. So that was the video, going through all the different sets. So I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas of how I should, what I should do with all the extra packs. You know, always open to suggestions. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.